Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States, which is 10 a.m. in Australia or 1 a.m. if you're in the UK. And as always, if you miss the live streams, you can catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time in the US, which is 7 a.m. in Australia or 10 p.m. if you are in the UK. It's good to see all you guys and girls, and Smurfberry Barbecue. Behold, it is you. You come from the land of the north, the land of sunny beaches and polar bears. Oh, Smurfberry. I was surprised to see you here. I'm glad you're here. I thought you were doing your workshop, but I'm not going to complain. It's good to see you, Smurfberry. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope all you guys and girls had a good weekend. We are working on our Temple of the Winds. We're going to continue texturing it up. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting there. Because I am going to be on holidays from next week, so no streams for 2 weeks after tomorrow. So I'm streaming today and tomorrow, and then next week and the week after I'm off. And I think I'm back on the 24th. But if you're not sure, you can jump on the Discord server under the stream schedule. It's all listed there for you. Workshop is Tuesdays. Okay, so it'll be tomorrow. Smurfberry says, and it's getting restructured because not enough people signed up. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, that's sad. So long as it's being restructured, then at least you're going to be doing it. But it's always sad when not enough people show up. You know, I remember when I was doing my when I was going to university, half the time the class was half empty because a lot of students wouldn't show up for different classes. And I felt for the poor lecturer because, you know, they devote their time to try and teach us stuff, and if not enough people are interested in listening to them, then it's bad. I always went to my classes, of course. Always. Well, when I wasn't working, you know. There were times where I had to go to work, so. Anyway, I'm just going to grab a quick drink. All right. As long as it's restructured, as long as you can do it, then that's the important thing. It is annoying, though, I have to admit. Yes, Max. Let's jump into Max. So this is the Temple of the Winds we're working on. I'm making it in like a kit bash form, whereby there are going to be 4 different bases for it, depending on the number of stairs that people want to add to it, because this model is going to be for sale in my 3D store online. So let's jump straight into it, I think. Let's do these little end pieces here that cap the ends of the rails. So we can get the railing sections done and dusted. So first things we want to do, I guess, is send it over to Substance Painter. Max is going to complain the first time I do it. It's a permissions problem. We'll just do it again and it should be good. I'm still waiting for Substance for Algorithmic to release the proper integration plugin for Macs. They still haven't released 2.22. It was due to be released a month and a half or 2 months ago. They seem to be taking their time. And that's what happens when Adobe buys your company, you see. They lose all interest in improving stuff. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure Algorithmic is still really interested in their program. We're going to call this rail caps. Why not? And let's bake out the curvature and all that sort of stuff. Using the low poly as the high poly. Do remember, guys and girls, if you've got any questions or anything you're not sure about, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If I can help you in any way, I'm happy to try. If all you want to do is watch, that's completely fine. Or if you just want to pop in and say hello, that is always welcome. It's baked out. Good. We're going to use the same multicolored gold that we use for the railings for these end pieces, I think. keep everything nice and consistent. I did create a smart material for it, so we'll throw the smart material down and then we'll go over it by hand and do some distressing. I think that's the best way to go. So let's jump into our smart materials and find the one that we created. There it is, rusty gold, that's the one we want. Now, I'm noticing a couple of problems here with the UV mapping. The sides here are bad. Top here we're getting a bit of stretching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back into Max. We'll close this project down because we can't really use it with the UVs the way they are. Let's isolate that piece when Max lets me. There we go. Come on. And let's send it over using Horizon to look at the UV mapping. I'm going to redo the UV mapping. I'm not going to edit it. Okay, well, let's try one of the standard unwraps here. It may have been because I didn't pack the UVs. That could have been the problem. Where are there they are. Okay. Let's throw down a checkerboard so we can check it. That looks good to me. So let's send that back. And now let's send it back to Substance Painter. Yes, it's warning me that we already have a file saved into that name, so just asking me if I want to override it, and I do. Okay, let's try this again. First things first, let's change the name to Rail Caps. Bake out our low poly. And throw down our smart material. Oh, hang on. I'm seeing a warning message down here. Did I forget to... No, I did that. It's fine. Don't know what you're talking about. What you're talking about, Substance. Let's see what our gold looks like. That's better. Much better. Now we've got a nice even, no stretching. I don't know what happened with the last one. I think I may have forgotten to do a pack on the UVs. I think that might have been a problem. Okay. Let's play with this. I'm just going to remove this bottom layer because it's just a blank layer that Substance adds when we create a new project. And just let me have a bit of a play around with some of these masks. I'm going to turn the dirt layer off first so we can see just the gold. And let's see here. Let's check the balance. The mix of the two textures. I'm just going to reduce a little bit the underlying rust on this because it's a larger piece than the railing, so we don't want it to be quite so heavy. Maybe the occlusion, it's not really going to do a lot on an object this shape. Now the curvature. Now I have updated to the new version hotfix of Substance Painter. We'll see how it goes. The first time I've used it since I did the update the other day. Because the first update they did was crashing the program. Check the world space normal. Just pulled it up a bit just to reduce that rusting a little bit more. I don't want it too rusty. Okay. I'm also going to make some adjustments to the height of the underlying metallic layer here. So let's pull back a little bit on the height, I think, just so it's not quite as bumpy. I might pull back a bit on the normal intensity as well. I'm just trying to decide here whether I want to play with the tiling of the underlying texture a bit more. Might just pull it up a little bit. So let's jump to this tiling value here. They call it scale. Scale is really tiling. That's what they're referring to. I think it used to be called tiling. And if I just pull it up a little bit. So let me pull it back just a little bit. All right, let us jump up to the gold layer here, and I'm going to add a paint layer. Let's select that Dirt 2 brush, grab our pen, and reduce our brush size a little bit. Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? How's things? What you been up to? Did you have a good weekend? It is good to see you, though, Sniper. So now I'm just going to go through and do a little bit of distressing by hand here along these edges. How's the project coming along? Yeah, not bad. Thanks. Working through the weekend. For me, how was your... in exactly the same, Sniper Echo. I feel you. I was working through the weekend as well. No rest for the wicked, as they say. You and I must be incredibly wicked. So yeah, no, I spent the weekend working. I've got to catch up on a lot of stuff before I go on leave. Because yeah, I'm going on break next week. So today and tomorrow I'm streaming, and then next week and the week after I'm off, but I'm back on the 24th, I think it is. Actually, let me double check that. I don't want to sort of give you guys a bum steer and not tell you the right date. I am back on the 24th after tomorrow. So streaming tomorrow and then back on Monday the 24th. Sniper says the primary project is through stage 1, so awaiting game for a few weeks now. Okay, well, cool. Stage 1 ticked off, that's the important thing. Sniper says trying to figure something out in UE4 now for a small project. Oh, what are you trying to figure out? We will be jumping back into UE4 soon, guys and girls, because I'm going to turn that cinematic we created called The House in the Hollow into a game. So we will be doing that after this project. Turning that into a fully fledged game. But what are you trying to figure out, Sniper? Maybe we can give you a hand. I'm just checking my settings here for my pen. Might just pull back a little bit on the stroke opacity. Sniper says, I'm trying to figure out how to translate real-world GPS coordinates to in-game positions and vice versa for accurately representing data in the engine. And that's not something I've ever done, so not something I really know anything about. Using real-world GPS data in for a game position. Yeah, no, I can't help with that one. Sniper says, sorry, in-engine, not in-game. It's for a simulation. Okay. You did something similar with GPS data in UE4 last year, didn't you? I remember you mentioning something. But yeah, no, that's not something I've actually had anything to do with in UE4. No. I'm sorry, I can't be of more help there. Similar but not on this scale? Okay. Because, yeah, what you did last year sounded really cool. You must have your fingers in a lot of pies, Sniper Echo, because you're doing a film project too, aren't you? You're keeping yourself mega busy. Yeah, no, sorry, I don't know about GPS data in UE4. I wouldn't even like to hazard a guess. But I can sort of put some feelers out to some people and see if they can come up with anything. Not promising anything, of course, but I know a couple of people who work with the engine professionally. They might know something more than I do. Although I don't know if any of them have done anything with GPS data. Sounds like a cool project though. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I will. I'll ask a couple of the people I know that work with UE4. See what they have to say. Just going to turn up my opacity a bit more. I think it's just a little bit too low. Sniper says, I just need to be able to scale and translate between IRL GPS info and real life GPS info. Yeah. So you need to be able to scale and translate. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you, Sniper Girl. How are you? Your band is looking absolutely awesome. We will show it off soon. So let me get a bit of painting work done in Substance here, and then I'll load up the image you posted in Discord of the band. It's looking sweet. Mega sweet. Smokeberry says it's just longitude, latitude, isn't it? No, they're talking about Sniper Echo's project. Sniper Girl says, exhausted, haven't gotten much sleep for the last couple of days, gotta love insomnia. Yeah, I'm the same. I've been working my little tail off to getting stuff finished before I go on leave next week. So we've all been working our little butts off. Sniper Echo says, an example is if I want to take a location and set up some movement data for devices, I need to be using real GPS data. The actual scale in engine doesn't matter.
Are you ready?
Right. Yeah, again, I will ask a couple of the people I know, but I'm not promising anything, so I don't know anyone that specifically does GPS stuff in the Unreal Engine. But I will try for you. Sniper says to Smokeberry, pretty much just need to figure out how to represent that data in engine. Use math. Pretty much. I think you've got to break up your landscape into a grid that you can then use for your longitude and latitude coordinates. The math is exactly right. Sniper Echo says the band textures are looking great. They are. Yeah, no, the band textures are looking mega super awesome. I'll show it off in, like I said, once I've just done it. I just need to get a little bit of painting work done. We want to get this project finished and not have it take another 6 months. It won't. You know, now that we've started texturing it up, it should start to come together a bit more quickly because we can reuse a lot of the textures. And I don't think there's anything else after this that I need to add gold paint to, so we can probably move off the gold painting work. Sniper Girl says, someone recommended a car wash name for a sign, and I went a bit dark with it. Did you? Okay, well, I'll check it out. Or have you not posted that yet? I know you were asking for some names for signs in the Discord, so. And Snowferry came up with a suggestion. I'm just going to reduce my brush a little bit. I know a lot of people might be watching me and thinking, why are you doing this by hand? Why don't you jump into Smart Masks and why don't you use one of those? Well, the reason is because I don't want to. Cheeky. No, the reason is a lot of people do that and all of your models end up looking the same. So doing it by hand will just give the model a little bit more of a unique look. Smart masks are good, they have their place, but you don't want to rely on them too much. It might be good as as a starting point, but then you should go over it by hand and give it a bit of character. Sniper Girl says, posted a stencil that I made for the gas station sign. Still haven't applied it to the sign in Painter yet. Okay, we will check that out soon. Just let me get this bit textured up and then we'll look at it. I probably will end up doing 2 versions of this texture, maybe, because we're going to reuse it on all of the pieces in the model, so I don't want it to be too noticeable it's being reused. I'll make that decision once we apply it, and I'll see if it looks like it stands out too much as being unique. Have you guys updated to the new version of Windows yet? The May update? Has it come through for any of you guys on your machines? It's come through on one of mine. I haven't actually installed it yet. I'm waiting to see whether anyone else has had problems with it, because you never know with Microsoft. You're still on Windows 7, Sniper Girl. Okay. Well, Windows 7 is good. It's on my notebook. I haven't updated my notebook to Windows 10. It's still on Windows 7. And it will stay on Windows 7, that notebook. No matter how much Microsoft annoy me saying I should update to Windows 10. Yeah, I was just curious though, because I pushed it out on the 24th of May, and it still hasn't come through on 1, 2, 3 of my machines. It's only come through on 1, and I haven't installed it yet. Sniper Echo says, oh god no, not another update. Yes, another major update, which is pretty much like a fresh install of the operating system. You do keep your programs and stuff if you do an update, but it pretty much it's just like a fresh install every time they do these major 6-monthly updates. Sniper Girl says, I'm thinking about switching to 10 only because they're looking at ending support for Windows 7 soonish. Yes, they are. So you don't want to lose security updates and stuff. Not in this day and age anyway. Because there's been so many security problems recently. So many. I jump on Reddit quite regularly, and the number of people that say that their Twitch accounts have been hijacked is incredible. So be careful. Make sure you have 2-factor authentication turned on for all your Twitch accounts, just to be on the safe side. I know it's a pain. Every time you log in, you've got to get a code through Authy. But better that than have someone break into your Twitch account, use your Prime subs or charge bits to your credit card or anything like that. Because that's what's been happening. Sniper says, Viro wash. Sniper Girl says, yeah, agree. Security updates are the reason why. Yeah, it is. It's really important. You make sure your machine's updated and secure. Most of the people that have been having problems on Twitch with having their account compromised don't have 2-factor authentication turned on, and it's a really good thing to have enabled. On any account, not just Twitch, the opposite to you should turn it on. It does mean, like I said, you're going to have to enter a code when you want to log into your account, but That's better than losing your account, because that's happened to some people. They've had like a Twitch account for years and years, and these people break in and they change the password and the email, and then these people lose their accounts, and it can take a month to actually get it fixed. So don't put yourself through the grief. Turn on two-factor authentication. Because with that turned on, even if they do get your password, they can't get into your account. Just going to increase my brush size for down here. But yes, no, I will update to the May update of Windows 10, but I'm just waiting to make sure that all of the bugs are sorted out. Because they had one really bad bug where if you have external hard drives plugged in, which I do, I've got two in this machine, one in that machine, one in the other machine, because I use an external drive for backups and stuff. That if you had those plugged in, that Windows, when it did its May update, would reassign the drive letters on all of your hard drives and some internal drives, and I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 internal drives as well. So that's not good. I mean, Microsoft, why would you release an update that has those problems? I mean, fix them before you release the update. That's, yeah, reassigning drive letters. I mean, how bad is that? So, that's a bug that I can't work out how that even made it into release, or how it even became broken, because it's never been a problem with past Windows updates. Just this one seems to be an issue. I actually said that to a friend of mine, a programmer, a software engineer, and he said to me, it's probably because the person that worked on the integration of that sort of thing has left Microsoft. So that's why that's just speculation, by the way. No one knows. But his opinion was, the guy that, or the team maybe, that worked on the stuff that integrates the different hard drives and stuff in the Windows updates might have left the company. And that's causing the new people working on it issues, because they don't really know how it works. Which wouldn't, like, Windows is a huge operating system and it has millions of lines of code. And it often happens with really complex software, that if you worked on it for a while and then you leave the business, the company you were working for that makes it, that uses it, it can take a new team or a new people quite a while to get up to speed as to what's going on in the code. So he seems to think that's what's happened with Microsoft. And he could be right. Sniper Girl says, I'm so glad that I have Windows 7 Pro, and as far as I know, I can get Windows 10 Pro, which means I update when I want. Yeah, they're supposed to have stopped that, but you can still do it. It meant to have ended like a year or two ago, but if you do an in-place upgrade, you can still, you could, as far as I know a couple of months ago, you could still update from Windows 7 or Windows 8 or 8.1 to Windows 10 for free. And I do like Windows 10. I as an operating system, I think it's great. I've not had a problem with it. But that doesn't mean I'm not wary of installing a new upgrade, particularly this last May one, because it does seem to have some issues. And I'm not going to risk installing an update that reassigns all of my drive letters and risks making my PC unbootable, because I need it for work. If I can't boot my computer, all hell would break loose at the studio. They would not be happy at all. So I don't like to risk that sort of thing. Sniper Girl says it's still going on. Tried a week or go without issues. Yeah, cool. I'd heard that it was still a thing, that they hadn't turned it off. Which makes sense because they want you on Windows 10. They don't want people using Windows 7. I mean, they want all the telemetry data and stuff that they're collecting in Windows 10. There are ways to turn that off, but yeah. So they want you to go onto Windows 10. They don't want you to stay on Windows 7. They want to data mine you. Because that's the big thing now. You are the product. Advertisers pay big bucks to get access to your information. Just ask Facebook. In-place upgrade, Snappy, yeah. That's how you should do it. You should do an in-place upgrade. Unless you've got your key. If you've still got your Windows 7, 8 or 8.1 key, I believe you can do it that way as well, but the safest way is to do an in-place upgrade. Once you've done an in-place upgrade, you can then reinstall afresh. So if you're one of these people that thinks, I'd really like a nice fresh operating system instead of doing an upgrade, and you haven't sort of got the free update yet to Windows 10, do an in-place upgrade. Get the key, which then ties it to your Microsoft account online. Then you can do a fresh install. That's what I did, just to be on the safe side if it was me. Sniper says, weird, it was stopped over here ages ago. Yeah, no, it was supposed to be stopped worldwide, but Microsoft, I don't know, they either don't know or don't care. It's still a thing, but it was supposed to have been stopped. Once Windows went to retail, full retail, and after they'd given that period, after that period had expired, but they were giving you the free upgrade, you were supposed to buy it, but it still works. So don't spend, a couple of $100 buying Microsoft Windows. Just upgrade it. Upgrade your old version of Windows 7, 8 or 8.1 for free. And don't go using any pirated versions of an operating system either, guys. Trust me, it's not worth it. Don't do it. You don't know what pirates put in a distro if you're downloading a pirated version of Windows. It's not a safe thing to do, particularly because the operating system is the thing that underlies your entire machine. So if they stick some nasty piece of code in there somewhere, it's going to pawn your entire machine. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, and you're not going to be able to find it easily either. So don't do that. Do the free upgrade. It's safe. Just going to do this edge a little bit more. Von Buki. It's good to see you. I love that username too, by the way. Von Buki. Sniper Girl says, I'm going to turn all that crap off. They're not earning a dime on me. Well, you should. You can do that. You can turn off all the telemetry. And Von Buki says, Stroke's new Apple Pro Display XDR. You want this? I do want that. Whoa. That is so sweet, Von Buki. Nice. Sniper Girl says, granted, thanks to my dumbass president, my ISP can sell my data, so glad for VPNs. Well, that's true. VPN is a good thing as well. Von Buki says, even if you wanted to get a new Windows 10 install, it's available legitimately for $20. Yeah, they use, you got to be careful with those things too. They use MSDN keys and stuff. So Microsoft can revoke those keys at any time. Whether they do or not, I don't know. That is an option. Again, it's a better option than pirating it for sure. But you do run the risk of Microsoft revoking those keys at some stage. They may not. Luck of the draw. But I guess if it's only $20, what do you got to lose? Maybe. Not that I'm advocating doing that, because you should be buying it through a reputable source, but hey, you guys do what you want. But you shouldn't even need to do that. You can still get the free upgrade. So you don't have to spend a dime. As long as you can get a Windows 7, Windows 8 or 8.1 operating system on your machine, then you can upgrade to Windows 10 still. Just going to pull back here and see. Let's do some work on this edge here, I think. I do want to sort of distress these edges quite a bit. I've just got to be careful I don't make it too noticeable, otherwise I'm going to have to do a second version so we can mix and match them. Von Buki says, a simple fact, they just want people on Windows 10. If they sell a few at full price, then bonus, but it's not where they make their money. No, they don't. They make their money from you and I in their telemetry. Business, they make a lot of money through business, actually. Business accounts. But don't underestimate the value of your information, your data, the data they collect on you. Just ask Facebook, like I said, just how valuable that data is. One of the reasons I just test Facebook. And I don't have a personal Facebook account. I never will. I don't trust him. Mr. Zuckerberg has not proven himself trustworthy. Actually, did you? I heard this morning that the United States, they're looking at maybe breaking up parts of Google and Amazon. They're doing a big antitrust thing to see if there's anything that they should be doing as far as reining the companies in, the big fangs as they call them: Facebook, Apple, Netflix, things. Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, and what's the S one? Oh, don't know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And see what happens there. Von Buki says, yes, did you see the landmark ruling? Appeal is yet to be heard about biometric data in Oz. No, I didn't hear about that. What was the landmark ruling, Von Buki? Because it interests me if it's to do with Australia, because that's where I am. I didn't hear about it. The government in this country, though, they don't really care about our personal privacy. I'd like to be proven wrong, but so far they haven't shown any interest in protecting the user. It's all been about the corporation. Okay, I might just increase my brush here. Just reduce my stroke opacity a little bit. I'm just going to hit the model here and there just to add a little bit of distressing. It's not on the edges. I'm actually not even going to use my pen for that. I'm going to go back to my mouse. I don't need fine control over it. I just want to remove a bit of the gold here and there. Gotta be careful not to go too nuts. Von Buki says, logging company fired a guy because he refused to agree to fingerprint scanning to log in and out. Well, I don't blame him. I almost applied for a position with, let's do a quick save here just to be on the safe side, with the federal police here in this country. They wanted someone who was specialised in photogrammetry, because for their crime stuff, you know what I mean. But part of the requirement of the job was to be fingerprinted. And I thought, no, sorry, I don't trust you guys not to do something wrong with my, like accidentally put my fingerprint in the in some database of criminals or something. Listen, you can laugh, but that sort of stuff has happened before. So I actually didn't end up applying for the position, but so I don't blame this guy for not wanting his fingerprints taken either. Bombuki says, ruled against logging company. Court ruled it was overkill and data was totally non-secure. Yeah, thank God. Although, like I said, I remember when I was looking at applying for this federal police position, they required it as part of the interview. Can you believe that? Like, I understand if they wanted to check to make sure I wasn't a criminal, that's not a problem. But they wanted to keep it on file, and that's what I didn't like. And yeah, that worried me, because I don't trust that it won't go into the wrong database and I won't be classed as a criminal or something, you know what I mean? The same reason I opted out of the medical record in this country. In this country, the government introduced a medical record that follows you around no matter where you go or where you live in the country. It's a federal medical record thing. I opted out of that as well because I don't trust our government not to have their website hacked. It's happened before. So I don't trust my data to the government. Thankfully, they let you opt out. Initially they didn't want to, but there was such outcry in this country about people not wanting to have their medical records stored for privacy reasons and security reasons. The government relented and let people opt out. But you had to opt out by a certain date, and if you didn't do it by that date, well, then you got one of these medical records whether you liked it or not. Sniper Echo says, yeah, I'd be in agreement with the court there, so would I. Bombuki says, I also opted out for the same reasons. They couldn't arrange, I'll say a lay in a brothel. Well, that's true. That is exactly right. I don't know what the governments in your countries are like if you're not in Australia, but the one here, I would not trust them with my personal data. Sniper says it's well known that governments are way behind on security for most of their systems. Android Lust, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Are you well? It's always good to see you, Android Lust. Did you post? Let me check back here. I'm just looking on the Discord again. For anyone that hasn't joined the Phil Does 3D Discord, you should. You did. You posted, Android Lust posted that model we looked at last week on Sketchfab. You guys should check it out. It's the mermaid. Yes, you guys should join the Discord. Just want a reminder again, only subs can post links in Twitch chat, but everyone can post links in Discord. So don't post any links in my Twitch chat unless you're a sub to my channel. You'll get timed out by one of the moderators, Sniper Echo, Sniper Girl, or Sniper Barbecue, the three S's, the big three S's. But everyone can post a link in Discord. And there you go, Nightbot. That freaks me out, the way that Nightbot does that. Is it listening to me? Are you moderators? Are you trolling me, mods? How does Nightbot know to do that? Unless it's listening to me. I didn't hit any buttons. I don't interact with Nightbot at all. It does its own thing. What we're talking about is not trusting governments with your personal data, Android Lust. Android Lust says, wow, I was later than Sniper Echo. No, Sniper Echo was here like pretty much right from the beginning. I know Sniper Echo did the Discord command. Jesus, I'm not reading my chat properly, am I, Sniper? Well, that makes me feel a bit better. I'm a mega paranoid person by nature anyway, and I thought Nightbot was listening to me. Duh. You're well, that's good to hear. Android Lust. Bombuki, Sniper did it. Yeah, no, I just realised it takes me a while to catch up with the chat lines, and when I saw the Discord command that Sniper had put in, how stupid do I feel? That's okay. Not the first time, won't be the last time I feel stupid, I'm sure. Sniper Echo says, me and Nightbot are tight now. Sniper says, Sniper is invisible for the most part. Nearly always called Smurf Ray Bay. I know. Look, I get all the S's mixed up. I've got 3 moderators on the channel, and their usernames all begin with an S, and 2 of them are very similar, Sniper Echo and Sniper Girl. But I always tend to get Sniper Echo and Smurfberry Barbecue mixed up for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Let's just add a bit more distressing through the side here. It's subtle because I've pulled right back on the opacity. That's why it's not sort of showing up as heavy as the sides. And maybe a little bit through here. Again, I've got to avoid going too nuts here. I want it to look aged, not completely destroyed. Von Buki says, what's she going to do when Nightbot comes for you? That reminds me of that police show that I think that's what you're referring to. Where they film people being arrested. Alright, enough. I can't do any more distressing. Let's move on to the dirt layer now. So I'm going to turn that back on. And we're going to start removing some of the dirt. Sniper Echo says, I guess tell Nightbot that I'm Smurfberry Barbecue. Oh dear. Alright, let us increase our brush size quite a bit so we can start removing some of this dirt. I'm going to turn up my opacity as well. At least Nightbot's been pretty good today actually, guys. He hasn't been spamming my chat like it normally does. Normally it'll spam my chat with links to my YouTube and Twitter and online store and website. It likes to do that quite regularly. Now, again, I'm just going to go over this now and start... No. Undo. I'm still on the paint layer. I need to be on this layer. I need to add a new paint layer. There we go. Now we can start removing the dirt. I was still on the rust layer. So yeah, I'm just removing some of the dirt so we get a nice shine when we take the model into Eon View to do a beauty render. It also helps, the dirt layer helps to give the gold more of a two-toned colour, not just the one gold colour. Android Lost says, but Nightbot literally just posted your web... No. But it only posted one link. Normally it'll post like 3 or 4 different links, pretty much straight after one another. So it's behaving itself a little bit today. Only one link so far. Let's give it time. You watch, it'll post like link to my Twitter, then a link to my YouTube, all within the space of like 30 seconds. Got a mind of its own. But important to have because it keeps you guys and girls in line. When my mods can't, Nightbot will. It's also good for commands. There are commands you can type in chat. I know you guys don't tend to use them. They are there. You can use them to pull up my Discord, my YouTube. You can look at the uptime. You can... I don't know if I've got one for my stream set up or not, or if I have, it hasn't been updated. But yeah, there are Nightbot commands as well. Von Buki says, I'm going to ask Phil because I'm sensitive to overworked project. Where is this model in the scene? Okay, I will show you. I've got to wait for Max to catch up here. It doesn't like having Substance Painter open in the background. In fact, let me just jump back to Substance Painter. We'll have to close it down. They both use the DirectX viewport, and Max has a real problem if both of them are running at the same time. I've finished working the asset anyway. I will show you. It's at the end of the railing sections around the terrace. Sniper says shots fired. Sniper Echo says Wambuki, you should see the overwork project he worked on last. Kitchens and toilets everywhere. You shut up. You get the stink eye. He's talking about the House on the Hollow project that we did. And he's being cheeky. He's being a smart ass as usual. Yes, burn, that's right. I'm going to place it in. If I think it's been overworked, then we'll come back and we'll rework it a little bit, remove some of the overworking. So I'm going to save the file and I'm going to export the texture. It creates its own folder using the plugin that we're using, so we'll leave that as it is. We're going to knock back the resolution. We don't need a 4K resolution for that. More gold, I say. We're creating a temple, so I thought I'd pimp it right up. Pimp the temple to the max. So I'm just going to close this down. We did save it. Yeah, we'll save it again. Okay, fine. And then we'll jump back into Max and have a look at where it's going. There we go. Let me unhide everything. So it is going to be going, it sort of caps these railing sections, the end of these railing sections. So these bits in through here. We'll apply it, and like I said, if it looks overworked, then I will knock it back. Sniper Echo says, and we're back to normal. What happened? Max is behaving normally because Substance Paint has been closed down. I hope that's what you mean. I'm looking at my OBS here. I'm not dropping any frames, so it should be good. Andrew Loss says it looked much bigger in Substance Painter. We haven't applied it yet. Yeah, no, and it's not a large object. It's just these small little end caps for the railing sections. Sort of see it there. So it should be okay, but if it's not, we will fix it. Because I think we have to do some work on this larger railing section here. I think the resolution is not as good. I want a resolution that high. This one's looking a little bit low to me, so we may have to split the mesh. We'll see how we go. And then we have our other pieces over here, which are for the different number of steps, depending on how many steps people want to add to the model. We're using the 3-step version for our beauty renders though. But let's set up the shader, because we're using a DirectX shader in the Max viewport here, so we can see what the substance looks like more easily. So let's set that up. And let me get my OCD fixed here and have everything lined up. There we go. Let's create a new DirectX shader. Now, it was called Box 374. Again, I didn't rename it. That's really bad. My naming scheme is bad. I should have renamed it. It's going to cause problems when I have to take it into Eon View to do the beauty renders, but let's load up the normal map. Bad Phillip, bad Phillip. And we're looking for box, what are we looking for? Box 374. That one. We want the normal map, and we have to override the gamma. Make sure if you're using Max and you're using a DirectX shader, you override the gamma, or it's not going to look right. Do that for all of the textures. but only if you're using a DirectX shader. If you're not using a DirectX shader, it doesn't matter. And the roughness. Let's turn them on. So 1 for that one. Use color map, set it to 1. Use metallic map, set it to 1. And use the roughness map, set it to 1. And I like to just set the roughness value back to 0 because it's using a map. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't pay any attention to that value anyway. I'm going to make the shader unique, and I'm going to open up the shader effects node. And we're going to change it from a 1 light to a 3 light version, just so the texture isn't too dark. And because we made changes, we have to export the graph, and we're going to call this rail caps. Okay. And I'm also just going to bring in the bitmap so to remind me what that DirectX shader is, because it doesn't show me what the texture is. It just gives me a grey sphere. This just helps remind me what's going on, what the texture is for. Alright, we've got that selected. Let's assign the shader. No, wrong one. Let's assign the shader. There we go. We line them up again. Let's just come in here and have a bit of a look. Yeah, no, I think it's okay. It matches the railing sections. And I think it's small enough that we can probably get away with the 1 texture for all of them. Let's assign it to this as well. We'll check it without people noticing. The columns, we made 2 separate textures because they're large objects and they take up a lot of interest in the scene, so we couldn't really get away with just using the 1 texture over and over again. We had to create 2 there. But because these railing sections are so tiny, these end caps, we can get away with using 1 texture without people noticing. So again, let's assign the texture. Stop that. Sort of zoom in down here. Okay, now we're getting stretching because we changed the UV map. So we need to throw an unwrap UV down and we need to copy it. Andrew Loss says, let FutureFill deal with those bad names, right? That's right, FutureFill will deal with those. You guys don't have to lift a finger, FutureFill will deal with it. By the time we take it into Eon View to do the beauty renders, it will be done. Android Lost says, hey Smappy. So yes, we need to copy the unwrap because we changed the UV map. And hopefully we should just be able to paste our unwrap. You never know with Macs. And look, it does not like it, which is just bizarre. It's exactly the same model. So I'm going to collapse my stack. There should be no reason I can't copy the UVs between these 2 models. I'm going to see if I can do it by the channel info. Let's see if we can copy between the channel info. Again, because these were I used the mirror tool to create these. There is a bug in Max's mirror tool which messes the UVs up. It's been like that since like Max 2016 and I'm using Max 2020. Let's come back to that. Let's see if we can fix the ones along the actual terrace here. Let's assign the texture and see if we can't copy the UVs over. Again, it's not liking it. That's okay. Not a big deal. We will just replace them. Before I replace them all, though, let me double check that that problem is going to happen on all of them. Assign the texture. I think it is actually going to happen on all of them. I'll try one more. This one is the same, then that means I just have to replace them. And I do. Okay. Sniper says, my nephew asked me to set up Blender for him today so he can learn to make his own 3D models. He's 10. That is that's great. I love that. I love that. You guys know one of the main reasons I stream on Twitch is to actually encourage you guys to do 3D. And to hear that that your nephew at 10 years old wants to do 3D, that just makes my day. I love that, Sniper Echo. Thank you for telling me that. Because in my opinion, everybody should do 3D because it's fun. You know, even if you don't want to do it for a job, it's just a fun thing to do. A fun, creative outlet. Making things in 3D. Okay, let's go into isolation mode. It'll just make it easier for me to copy these around. Max is being very temperamental today. Okay, let's just hold down the shift key and make a copy. Andrew Lust says, I would jump for joy. I think that's made my day. It really has. I love that. I hope he has fun doing it too. And good on you too, Sniper Echo, for helping him set Blender out. Again, Blender's completely free, guys. If you want to do 3D, don't spend a cent. I'm going to call this fixed cat. Just so when it comes time for me to delete the old ones here, I know which one's the new one and which one's the old one. Get rid of the old one. It is very awesome, Sniper Echo. Very awesome. Sniper says he keeps seeing what I'm at, what I'm at, and asking loads of questions. That's great. Absolutely great. I hope he enjoys 3D modeling as much as we do. And starting at 10 years old, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with if he keeps at it by the time he gets to working age. Android Lost says that if he starts now, he would be a beast by the age of 20. He certainly would be. Sniper says he watched some of the bod from your stream to see how texturing from my stream. Well, you tell him if he got any questions that you can't answer for him, I'm happy to help him as well. And if he can't watch the streams, because I know it's very late where you, in Europe, and having a 10-year-old up at 2 in the morning is probably not great. Tell him he can ask questions in the Discord. But you're there to help him out, I'm sure. So. Sniper says he said when he gets good at it, he wants to design a robot for the local robot wars and me. His dad and him will build it. Well, that's a cool thing to do. Design the robot in 3D and then build it. I've seen Robot Wars. I know what you're talking about. That sounds like a great thing to do. So he's into the Robot Wars, hey? And let's face it, who isn't? What's better than robots fighting each other? Oh, come on. Don't do this. Don't be so sensitive. Oh, come on. Max, do as you're told. Bombuki says robots fighting giant monsters. Oh, that's better. I guess that is better, yeah. But I don't think we have any giant monsters we can sort of throw at our robots at the moment, so robots fighting robots is just as good. I'm a bit annoyed with Max and this problem with the UV mapping. It has been brought to Autodesk's attention. People have told them over the years there's a problem, but they've never fixed it. So big surprise, eh? I love Max. Max is my baby, but man, does it have a couple of bugs that are really annoying. I think we're back to the beginning. We are good. Let's jump out of isolation. And let's jump out of the top viewport. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. We're not going to notice. Whoop. Max. I don't think there's too much distressing on those end pieces. They match the railing. We're probably going to come back and relook at this railing after I've done some more texturing. Wow. Max. What's going on here? Sniper Girl says, I'll be glad to help as well. Sniper Eka says, just like me and his dad, when we were his age, we loved engineering of any kind. Engineering's a great thing to do. Bombuki says, robots fighting monsters. Sniper Echo says to Sniper Girl, your band would be perfect. Android Lust says, yeah, don't want to get completely off subject, but I tried photogrammetry over the weekend and used Mesh Fusion to do it. Cool. Photogrammetry. I'm all for people doing photogrammetry as well. It's becoming huge now, photogrammetry. It's being used everywhere. Particularly with the advent of AI taking over, photogrammetry is just becoming much more and more important every day. And it's fun too, as well as 3D modeling, doing photogrammetry, which is this project. That's the whole reason I started this project, was to show you how you could take photogrammetry and create something unique from photogrammetry, because, you know, photogrammetry, you can make a model, but to make it look more unique and more interesting, that was the point of this project. And to make a model to sell in my store as well, I'm not going to lie. Sniper Echo says, I told him there's loads of ways to do stuff because he was struggling with remembering stuff or where to start. I just showed him loads of people do the same sort of stuff in many ways. Okay, cool. Sniper Echo says to Android Lust, how were your end results? Yes, how were they, Android Lust? Bombuki is asking that. My apologies, I think I said Sniper Echo. Android Lost says to Bonbuki and Sniper Echo, my end result was the sun sucks. Android Lost says, I will post a screenshot of it, but the textures look nothing like the original object. Sniper says to Android Lost, did you try to photogrammetry the sun? You don't want to try and photograph and do photogrammetry of the sun. Unless you can get out to the sun and move around it, you're not going to get a good photogrammetry result. And even then, you're going to burn out the lens in your camera. Some horse statue. Let's check it out. And I want to check out your van as well. Sniper Girl. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I just want to have a look at this piece of photogrammetry first from Android Lost, and then I will check out your van, Sniper Girl, because it's looking awesome. It's going to save this scene because I don't trust Max. I don't trust any program not to crash, and I turn autosave off, so I must remember to do it manually. Otherwise, I'm going to be in all sorts of trouble. 44 Ridley, thank you for following the channel, 44 Ridley. I do appreciate it when you guys follow me on Twitch, so thank you, Ridley, for the follow. Okay. I'm just waiting for Max to finish saving out here. Yeah, with photogrammetry, when you're taking your photographs, this I'm assuming was this an inside photograph? You did the you did the photography inside, in which case it's easier to evenly light your model, but you've got to make sure it's evenly lit. If you're doing photogrammetry outside like what this model is, you must do it on a cloudy day. If you do it on a sunny day, you're going to get shadows baked into the texture map, and it's not going to look good. Do you mind if I show it on stream, Android Lost, or you don't want me to? The image you posted in the Discord server, let me know. If you don't want me to, I won't. It doesn't look that bad. Oh, you took it outside, okay. Go ahead, yeah. Okay, I was just assuming that you did it inside because it was a statue. It looked like a little statue, but I could be wrong. Let me just open up my browser. If you're new to my channel and you want to know more about me as a streamer, you can go to phildoes3d.com. This is my website. You can read up about me there. You can check out some of my 3D stores, my portfolio, the gallery and stuff. It also has links to my ArtStation, YouTube, all of that, Twitter. But we're checking out this image from Android Lost. Let me just scale it up so we can see it a bit better. It's not too bad, but I can see what you mean. The texture, actually not too bad, really. So you're saying the textures look nothing like the original object. Again, yeah, if you do it when the sun is out, you're going to have problems with the texturing. So it's best if you're doing photogrammetry outside to do it when it's cloudy. That way you don't get harsh shadows, and the colors will look a little bit richer as well in the actual texture. Sniper Girl says, not really, 30 minutes or so last night. Android Lost says, go ahead. Sniper Girl says, couldn't sleep. Sniper Girl says, yeah, having baked lighting can be an issue. Yeah, it can. That's why you should do it when it's overcast. No, Sniper Echo says, it doesn't look that bad, actually. It doesn't look that bad. The model itself, it looks fine, like the actual 3D model, the photogrammetry of the 3D model. Without seeing the original, I can't really comment on the texture. But you may be able to manipulate the texture map in Photoshop or a paint program to get it to look a little bit more close to what it was. Maybe that's an option. If you don't want to go back out and re-photograph it on a cloudy day, that's the best thing. But the model itself looks fine as far as the geometry goes. Even areas like in here, like under the horse's tail and in between the legs, that can sometimes cause issues with photogrammetry if you don't have enough photos. It'll fill that area in. So even here, I'm not seeing a problem. It looks pretty clean. Sniper exists. Andrew Lust says, I posted the original. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, let's check the original out here. Okay, now I'm noticing something already with the original that could be a problem. If it is what I think it is, I'll wait till I look at it. Yeah, okay. It's a metallic statue. Is that a metal? Photogrammetry has a problem with metal. It's the same reason you can't do photogrammetry on water. Anything transparent or metallic, photogrammetry software has a problem reconstructing. Actually, it did a good job at reconstructing the actual mesh of the horse. I can see what you mean by the texture here when I look at the original. It's not picking up a lot of the darker texturing, and that could be because I'm assuming it's metal. It looks a bit metallic. I was either going to resculpt it or try again. I didn't think about that. Sniper Girl says, model-wise it looks good. Honestly, had baked lighting on the dragon, so retextured it. Which is another option, of course. Yeah, take it into like algorithmic substance painter and you can retexture it that way. But the actual model looks fine. Bambuki says, I was expecting much more of a disaster. Geometry looks good. Bit of a spit and polish. Still faster than sculpting from scratch. For sure. That's one of the huge things I love about photogrammetry and 3D modeling. It can save you a huge amount of time. It's the reason it's been used in film for donkey's years. It's being used in games now as well because it saves developers a lot of time. But I did say to you guys, it's good to use photogrammetry, but you want to make it unique. Unless you're going for like a fire hydrant in your game and you want it to look just like a fire hydrant, then fine. But you're going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? As far as making models that maybe you want to sell online, which is what I do, as well as stuff for the studio, it's going to be more saleable if it's more unique to you. And that's why you can take photogrammetry and build upon it to make a different, unique model with photogrammetry bits, like we are here with this Temple of the Winds. That's going to be a more saleable thing, because otherwise anyone can take a camera and they can photograph their own fire hydrant or whatever. But if you make it more unique, then it's more saleable. We had the discussion a few weeks ago too about AI taking over, taking all our jobs and taking over the 3D industry. While it's true, AI like Google and stuff, it can reconstruct a model automatically without any human intervention. That doesn't mean it's going to be used over a person if that person can be more creative with the use of the photogrammetry that they're producing. AI can't be creative, and it never will be. Well, at least not in our lifetime. It might be good at certain tasks, repetitive tasks, but it can't be creative. So if you want to make sure you're always employable in the industry, either as a 3D artist or a character artist or an environment artist or whatever, AI will never replace creativity, human brain creativity. And the best way to do that is to take your photogrammetry and make it unique and make it your own. Hang on, I want to try and pronounce your username correctly. Lepisi, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says AI can certainly be creative if in a narrow field like material science. Well, we're not talking about that though, are we? When I say creative, I mean more in the arts industry. So 3D artist, environment artist, character artist. I'm not saying AI can't be good. I'm just saying it can't be as creative as a creative person in the creative industry. The PC says, but yeah, we are far from away from AI taking over. Yeah. Again, my apologies if I mispronounce and mangle your name, the PC. The guys will tell you I'm terrible with your usernames. But getting back to the statue here, yeah, photogrammetry has a problem if if anything is metallic or with water. But the model looks good. The capture of the model looks good. I'm just comparing some of the detailing here. You may have lost a little bit of detailing on the mane in places like that, that I can see here. But overall, not too bad. I can see, like I said, though, the problem with the texturing now that I see the original. If you didn't want to rephotograph it, you could probably maybe fix some of the texturing up in Photoshop or a 2D paint program. It actually doesn't look... It looked like you took the photograph when the sun wasn't out anyway, so that shouldn't have been a problem. But metallic will be a problem, so... one trick with a metallic object, if you're not getting a good reconstruction, like you're not getting enough detail in the model, not the texture so much but the model, is to dust it in like baby powder. That cuts back on the reflection and that allows the photogrammetry software to get a better model. So we're not talking texturing here, we're talking just a capture of the model detail. If it's metallic and you're using photogrammetry, just dust the object with some baby powder or any sort of powder, any sort of white powder. Flour, if you can get an even spread of flour, and that'll help reconstruct the model. Then you can clean the flour or the baby powder off the model and you can try capturing a texture. But that's just for metallic sort of stuff. It just might help if you're trying to capture something metallic. I got it right, how good. Bonduki says, but what happens if you don't have a brain, Phil? What happens then? What happens then? Breaks down weeping. I'm sure you got a brain, Bonduki. Mercury says, yeah, that'll be the first to go when the AI arrive. Mercury says, underestimating its craftiness, and Android Lust says the mouth is gone too. You're talking about the horse here, I'm assuming? But yeah, like I said, I noticed a little bit of loss in detail here on the mane. And yeah, metallic, sprinkle it with baby powder. That's the trick. If you must capture something metallic using photogrammetry. LiDAR can be used for metallic stuff, but that's a different beast altogether. You're talking lasers then when you're using LiDAR. But it can capture metallic stuff better than photogrammetry. I like photogrammetry. But I like the horse statue. Anyway, time. Let's check out the van by Sniper Girl before she gets angry and starts screaming at me. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that, would you? Because the van is looking very sweet. So Sniper Girl has been working on a van. No, you wouldn't scream. Let's check it out. I'm just going to start by loading up the different images you posted in the Discord server. And again, guys and girls, you should join the Phil Does 3D Discord server. If you want to post links to your work, there's a gallery section there. There's a tutorials and tips section. You can link to your social media, your art station, all that sort of stuff. If you want to promote yourself under the Folios and Demo Reels channel chat. But I'm just going to copy these links over just in case you refuse to join my Discord server for whatever reason. You don't even need to install the Discord client app. You can actually go to Discord in your web browser. And the other one's down here where we've got a bit of a close-up, which is looking really sweet. Let us jump back here and let me zoom in. Looking really nice. I love the texturing work. The detail you put into the van is just so cool. Sniper Girl, really cool. And the texturing is looking really nice. Let's just zoom in on these ones. Again, I really like the use of this part of the sign for your paneling work as well. That's really cool. Nice. Android Lost says, East Chicago, isn't that a war zone? Oh, poor Chicago. Wow. What did Chicago ever do to you, Android Lost? I thought it was Detroit. Isn't Detroit a war zone now? Because of all the car companies closing down? All the factories closing down? Yeah, texturing is really nice. I really like, I love the roof rack here. That looks really cool. I love the distressing you put through the roof rack in the texture. Love that there as well on the edge. Some bit of distressing, which is cool. And along the this piece through here, looks really nice texture work. You've done a great job. Let's look at the close-up, because the close-up's nice too. Love the distressing on the sign. Love the distressing in the metal on the actual van itself as well. Looking really cool. A little bit of texture stretching happening just here. Not hugely noticeable though. Sniper Girl says it's the interstate sign into Chicago. Oh, okay. Android Lost says some people call Chicago. I'm not going to say that. Besides that, I don't have much. I don't know much about Chicago. I don't either. Von Buki says Detroit is undergoing a small resurgence, mainly because of low property prices caused by the city's collapse. Well, good, because the people of Detroit, you know, have been doing it hard for a long time. I'm happy to hear that things might be going better for them. It's sad when you hear about cities that have fallen on hard times because large manufacturing has moved out of the city. Manufacturing all over the world, though, is changing. Like Australia here, we've lost a lot of manufacturing in this country. It's moved over to places like China and India. Unfortunately, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for companies to manufacture in those countries than it is in the US or in Australia. It doesn't mean it's right, and I'm not saying it's right, but that's the reason they do it. Android Lost says Chicago. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Chirac, yeah. Sniper Girl says, yeah, had stretching on the roll cage UVs from trying to get the UV straight. Wanted them as straight as possible due to packing purpose. Yeah, no, I understand. I get what you're saying. Yep. Yep. It just, I noticed it. Most people probably would not even notice it. Some people might think it's just like some sort of texturing runoff from the rust above it or something. You know what I mean? It's not you, and you've got to zoom right up in here to see it. It's not going to be noticeable. If you're putting it up for sale, it should be fine. Android Lust says, but those textures are coming out. They are beautiful. The beautiful texturing. Love it. Everything is really nice. Yeah. The only other thing I'm noticing, and it's the same problem I've just noticed in my model, Sniper Girl. Again, it's not too bad on yours. It's worse on mine. It just looks like the texture resolution here is a bit lower than the texture resolution here and here and here. You know what I mean? So maybe the texture map needs to be a bit higher resolution for this piece through here. But again, not hugely noticeable, maybe just noticeable to me. That's the same problem I have on that railing section in my model that I have to redo. The resolution of the texture is just a little bit low compared to the resolution of the textures in other spots. Smurfberry says the grunge on the center panel looks larger than the panel on the right. He's talking about here compared to here, I think. That actually is not so bad for me. I don't think that's an issue. And even this is not a huge issue because it's metal, so it's not going to be a major issue. Sniper Girl says, yeah, the resolution should be the same, textile density should be the same for the ladder and the van. That's odd, yeah. I'm just noticing, again, maybe it's in the texture. It just looks like the resolution's a little bit lower on the ladder than on, like, the roll cage thing here, or this bar here, or the metalwork here. Maybe it's the lighting. Because that can happen with lighting. Might be in the it could be in the texture too. You could be right. Just and again, it's just an observation I'm making. One that most people probably won't pick up on anyway. And it could be the lighting that we're looking at that's making it look that way. But overall, it is looking super, super awesome. I love the van. I think it looks so good. You see what I mean here? When I'm looking at it from here, it looks fine. In this shot, I don't see an issue with the ladder. So it may just be the lighting in the render. And I can't see the stretching here either. So yeah, it looks amazing. It looks great. I love the texturing work. It's going to look so cool. And you put a lot of work into it and you can tell. It looks really good. Really good. You were talking about suspension. You forgot to put the suspension in. I was reading on the Discord. Yeah, so it's suspension. That's something I would forget as well. Not being into creating car models. Yeah, it looks really nice. Super, super nice. And that's inspired too. That sign, half of that sign, that's inspired. Really inspired. Love that. Very nice. I love the spiked wheels too. And of course, this spiking bit through here, I love that as well. I always have. I think it looks really good. Textured up, you've textured it nicely as well. Sniper Girl says, yeah, I did on the Marmoset render. Oh, okay, had the suspension system on the Maya file. Oh, okay. I get it. So you rendered up the images here in Marmoset. Maybe it's the lighting in Marmoset that's doing that then. Because like I said, here it looks fine. I don't see an issue. With the resolution. Looks really cool. Love the door too. Have you textured up the grading yet? Because it looks a bit clean. Maybe you just haven't textured the grading, window grading yet. That's the only thing sort of standing out to me at the moment. Well, this one looks a little better. Again, maybe it's the lighting. Sniper Girl says, yeah, did it in Marmoset render. Sniper Girl says, yeah, need to add a bit more grunge on the window guards. Cool. Andrew Lust says, the sign on the van really tells a story, you know. From looking at the van, you can tell the general area where the van is or has been. It does. It helps to add realism, I guess. It just... believability. Maybe that's a better word. Helps to add a bit of believability to the model. The fact that... because that's what somebody probably would do. You know, the world's been destroyed. They come across the sign from Chicago and they need to toughen up their car or their van and they'll use the sign. So I think that's an inspired idea. Inspired. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's looking great. Absolutely great. Let's get these final pieces, end pieces done. I'm going to have to swap these ones out as well. So I'm going to select that, that. I'm gonna have to do it. Yeah, I'll do them in stages because they're all groups. So let us do an isolation. And let's copy these over. Still annoyed I have to do this. Max, you're working my last nerve. So let's copy this one. I forgive you, Max. Max is my baby. I love 3D Studio Max. But it can be trying, just like a real baby. Oh, well, this one's still called box. Let's call this one fixed box. We'll call it fixed box steps. This is just so that I know which one it is when I want to remove the old one. I don't want that one, I want that one. Okay. That one, let's jump out of isolation, jump back into our perspective. Wait for Max to catch up. You know, I was using, you guys know, I was using Max 2018 and it was fine. Since I've updated to Max 2020, I don't know what Autodesk have done, but the viewport seems much more sluggish than it did in 2018. Which is strange because they were supposed to have improved the viewport. So I don't know what's going on there. Really annoying. Because it's not my machine. I have a new Core i7-8700 and 32 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1080 Ti. There's no reason that Max should be quite as sluggish as it is sometimes. Even starting up, just starting the program up seems to take it an age. I don't know if that's to do with the new Autodesk licensing checking it's got going on in the background or what, but it does seem slower to start as well. Let's open the group, select that one. This one and this one. Duplicate that one. Android Lost says the sign on the van really tells the story. Sniper Girl says, yeah, hell yeah, I'll take it. Going to have 2 more small pieces of the Chicago sign on the driver's side. Cool. So yes, once we've finished texturing this up in Substance Painter, I'm just going to take a couple of the assets into Mari by the Foundry, probably just to do an overpaint on, not all, just a couple of set pieces here and there. And then once we've done that, then I will be taking the model into Eon View to do a beauty render on. So we're going to create a complete 3D environment inside of Eon View and to do our beauty renders. So that I got something pretty to show people when I put it in my 3D store. One more step to do. And then once we've finished this project, we are going to jump back into Unreal Engine 4 to continue working on the game The House in the Hollow that I'm making. and putting in a kitchen and a bathroom. Smart ass. That's for you, Sniper Echo. Let's isolate these. Because they're always giving me a hard time. I have no kitchen and bathroom in my house that we created for the cinematic I made in UE4. Android Lost says maybe isn't slow to start. Well, if it's not on SSD, it is on SSD. If it's not on SSD, it is. I assume you have Max on the SSD. Yes, I do. I have Max on an M.2 SSD. So an M.2 SSD reads at 3200 megabits a second. There should be no reason for Max to be taking so long to... Max doesn't take long to start. But it takes, once Max starts, it takes a long time for the actual viewport to be usable. So you can see most of the program open, but you can't do anything for a period of time until Max, I don't know what it's doing in the background. And it only seems to have started since they introduced their check. They have a service running in the background that checks the integrity of the software license to make sure it's legit. I think that's what's slowing it down, because that's the only thing that's different between 2018 and 2020 that I can tell. Could not be. Maybe it's a driver issue. Maybe that could be an issue. Maybe. I don't tend to update my NVIDIA drivers every month when NVIDIA release a new driver. I generally wait. Again, because I can't afford to have my machine down. I need it for work. So maybe updating the driver will help. I might do that soon. Maybe when I update to Windows May Edition, Windows 10 May Edition, I might update the NVIDIA driver. Maybe. So, Sniper says, well, that puts me in my place. That's right. Sniper Girl says, does that mean the poor guy will finally be able to pee? Yes. He'll be able to go number 1 and number 2. But you've got the forest in the House on the Hollow. I don't know what you guys are bitching about. It's not like you don't have somewhere to go and do a poo or do a pee. You can go into the forest. There's a pond out the front for you to bathe in, so what more do you want? Spoiled. You're just all spoiled. What are you going to do when the zombie apocalypse happens and you can't use your bathrooms anymore? Huh? What are you going to do then? You're going to have to pee and poo in the forest then, aren't you? Smepper says Maya on SSD is still slow to start. Concept Dev says, is that the newer version of Maya? I'm still rocking Maya 2014. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I'm using Max. This is the new version of Max. Probably all the plugins, Smurfberry says. So it can't be me, because I don't have a lot of plugins in Max here. I don't tend to use a lot of plugins. So that can't be the reason that it's so slow for me. 2018 wasn't. 2018 was fine. But 2020 here, it can be so slow to start up. Just get myself organized here. Again, my OCD, I have to have everything nice and lined up. Terrible, isn't it? I just want to have something for Max to lock onto so I can do my rotation here.
Are you ready?
Okay. I think we're good. We're using the one texture map. I'm not really noticing that people are I don't think people are going to notice we've reused the same texture map for all of those end pieces. Looks like I have an issue here where I forgot the ones at the front, and these ones here are too high because I copied them from this terrace. That's okay, we can just drop them down. Let me check the others. Same thing here.
Are you ready?
And that means this one will probably be the same as well. Yes. But I have forgotten the ones at the front. So let's do that. Android Lost says he's using my 2014. Sorry, Android Lost says my 2014. A pond, Sniper Echo says. You know the pond. The pond out the front of the house. Sniper Girl says a forest where the ghosts are stalking you. Who knows what terrors are in that forest. We know that there are deer. The deer are stalking you. This is one of the objects I'm going to take into Maya to do an overpaint on the top of the dome, just here, the cement. What about the poor fish, Sniper Echo says? Who knows what fish like to eat? Maybe it's like those, those beauty spas you can go to where they have those little fish that nibble on your toes. Maybe they like nibbling on you in the pond. Sniper Girl says, I'd hop in my van and it has a portable toilet on the roof. Where does it all go though? Are you collecting it in the van or are you just letting it go out underneath the van? That's nasty. Let's just replace these two at the front. So let's open up the group. I want that one, I want that one. I just want this one so I can copy it from. Android Lost says the concept dev build uses Max. Maya 2014 looks just like the current version of Maya for the most part. Concept dev says I meant is newer version of Maya slow to start. 2014 is instant. I wish Max was instant. Well, Max was pretty much instant when I was using Max 2018. But Max 2020, I don't know what's going on. If it's because of that service running in the background that's checking for the genuine license, then I'm going to be really annoyed. Autodesk, I appreciate you want to check people are using a proper license for your software, but don't slow the program down in the process. That pretty much defeats the whole purpose. Okay, let's jump out of isolation mode. You see here? You see how it's taking a minute for it to reload everything? Max was never like that. Max 2018 wasn't like that. Now, I know I've got quite a bit going on in the scene here. It's not a small scene, but still. It should not be quite as sluggish as it is sometimes. Let's copy that one. Let's select that one. And that one. Android Lost says the concept dev Maya 2019 could be slower. I wouldn't know. Sniper Girl says collect in the toilet for compost for growing crops. Okay. Oh, okay, so you're not even pumping it anywhere. You're just letting it pile up inside the toilet. Okay. Ooh, that's going to be one smelly toilet. But I guess if it's the end of the world, what choice do you have? I'm determined to get these replaced before the end of the stream, which should be cool. We've got a few minutes yet. Let's remove the old one. So again, I'm just reminding you guys, I'm streaming tomorrow as usual. I start at 5 p.m. Pacific in the United States. but I won't be streaming next week or the week after because I'm going on holidays. I'm going to my cabin in the woods to de-stress and recharge. I need to do it I do it every year, middle of the year, because I get exhausted from work. So I need to take a break and recharge. Where there's no TV, no phone, no computer, really back to nature stuff. So I'm doing that next week and the week after. I'll be back on the 24th of this month of June. So I'm streaming tomorrow and then I'm back on the 24th of June. One more left to do. Android Lost says it makes biofuel fuel. Okay, ICMZ, good to see you. ICMZ says, hey, how's your weekend? Good. No, how was your weekend, ICMZ? No, mine was busy, actually. I've got to catch up on a lot of this work before I go on leave, so I've been working weekends. I won't be this weekend coming, though, because I'm going to be, like I said, heading off to the middle of nowhere. I did post a photo of the cabin on my Twitter page last year. I'll do it again this year. I'll post a photo so you guys can see where I am. It's just this tiny little cabin in the middle of the bush, we call it here in Australia. You guys call it the forest, in the middle of the forest. With no TV, no telephone, no PC. And it's a tiny little cabin. But it's only me, so it's fine. Nearest neighbours are like 20 kilometres away, so nice and private. God help me if I fall down a cliff or something, because there's no one around. I've got to be extra specially careful when I go for like a bushwalk or a walk through the forest, because it can be pretty hilly, mountainy. There's like a lot of really large cliffs and stuff, so you got to be aware that you don't walk off the edge of a cliff, because there ain't no one around to come and save you. It borders like a national park. That's the reason that there aren't many people living out there. The cabin is like right on the edge of a national park. So the scenery is really pretty, but yeah, very few people living out there. But how are you, ICMZ? I hope you had a good weekend. Sniper Wrecker says, out of interest, Phil, when you say back to nature, do you also mean the woods and pond? No, I don't. The cabin has a bathroom and it has a kitchen and it has a toilet. So I'm not going back to nature completely. When I say back to nature, I just mean spending time out in a forest with no TV and no technology and that sort of stuff. So yes, it has a kitchen, it has a bathroom, it has heating as well, because it can get quite cold, because we're in winter now here in Australia. So it can get cold. It can get cold down here in Victoria where I live in winter. It gets bloody hot in summer, but it can get really cold in winter. So the place is heated as well. It has electricity. It's not that far removed, not that far in nature that it doesn't have electricity. I do have electricity. But it's just nice to get away from technology and from my mobile phone and the computer and even television. Completely de-stress and remove myself from modern technology. That's what I like to do. It's how I recharge and keep going for the rest of the year. If I couldn't have my mid-year break, I'd just be a blubbering mess by the end of the year. I'm sure of it. So I've told you guys, being creative can be exhausting. And some of the work I have to do at the studio, some of the workload, it can be pretty full on. I'm not complaining. I love what I do. But I need my mid-year break. I need to recharge. Smokebrew says, no TV and no beer make Homer something. Sure. No alcohol either. I won't be taking alcohol with me. Android Lost says, back to the dark ages. Well, not quite. I'm making it sound worse than it is. I'll post a picture on my Twitter account of the cabin. So check out my Twitter. I'll post it in the Discord server as well, so you guys can see. It's not like, 2 sticks and some branches. It's a little bit more comfortable than that. But it's a tiny little cabin. Big enough for me. And ICMZ says, it was good, thank you. Went out of town and visited some family. Now back to the grind. Well, the grind is fun though, when it's not too grindy or too much work. Sniper Echo says, #lies. What are you talking about? Sniper says, we all know the truth. ICMZ says, be one with nature and catch your own dinner. No, not quite. Sniper says, no way that's going to be his cabin, no way. Sniper Echo. What you talking about? No, it is fine. The cabin, like I said, while small, is heated. There's even gas for the oven. I'll take a good supply of food with me, so I don't have to hunt my own food out in the forest. When I say back to nature, it's just that no technology, no TVs, no phones, no PCs. Pretty much no way for anyone to contact me for those 2 weeks that I'm gone. Android Lost says, fella's going to come back with a beard bigger than Galen's. Well, Galen's got a serious beard. I can't beat Galen's beard. And I don't know, I keep this pretty trimmed pretty much constantly because I can't grow a beard. You see this. This is like bum flop. This is not a beard. This is bum flop. And it never gets any thicker than this. It always stays like this. I don't know if it's because I've got fine hair or what, but I can't grow one of those really bushy big beards. I'm really jealous of Galen. It always looks like bum flop. It's just the same with my chest. I've got like just this little bit of hair on my chest. It just looks ridiculous. When I say little, I mean tiny. So I don't think there's any chance of that, Android Dust. Sniper says, purple from them berries, also no doubt. That's right. Just like Galen came back when he came back from TwitchCon or whatever it was. He had dyed his beard purple. Oh, you guys. Did we do a save? I can't remember. Let's do another one anyway. I hope Galen's well, actually. I haven't spoken to him for a little while. Galen is a streamer on Twitch as well. I encourage you guys to check him out. If you're watching me, you should be watching him too. I'm not sure how often he streams, but he is a streamer. You can search his name that you see in the chat there. I think we might leave it there for today though, guys and girls. I do want to thank you very much for hanging out with me and watching. I do appreciate it. Remember, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed it, please remember to follow me on Twitch. Just hit that follow button. You can also join the Discord server if you're not a member of the Discord, so you can show your work in the gallery and all that sort of stuff. But I will be back on again tomorrow for the last stream before I go on 2 weeks break. So, Android Lust says the scenery around the cabin looks amazing. Now, are you looking through my Twitter, Android Lust? Because I did post a picture of where the cabin is and the forest around it. You're quite welcome, Sniper Girl. Thank you guys very much though for being here and watching. I do appreciate it. I'll be back on again tomorrow at 5. I'm losing my voice. At 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. You guys and girls have a great night, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. See you guys.